Next, this is an interesting story. Zignet. Now, nothing against, people make business decisions sometimes that, you may not be happy with. Fernando and I have been friends for a long time. We know common club managers. They all don't behave the way we want them to behave, historically. And companies that own products don't always behave. So I had a 5-year exclusivity agreement to distribute the Zignet in the United States and Canada, and worked into it for 2 years. 2 years. Now, I'm not telling you this story to cry over spilt milk, because there is a happy ending, but to tell you what can happen. So, 2-year agreement, I was traveling around, meeting with the different school catalogers, like Gopher Sports, some of you have heard of, Sport Time, Toledo, School Supply, Palos Sports, Flag House, companies, SNS Worldwide, need I go on? There are a lot of catalog companies that mail out literally millions of catalogs a year, and these are 500 to 600 page catalogs, very thick. So 2 years, we're just starting to get it in catalogs. The owner of Zig brings me to England. We're doing a tour of 6 cities. He's driving me. Nice guy, we're getting along great. City to city to city. It's just about over. Last city, he said, I have something to tell you. I decided to cancel our agreement and go with Wilson to distribute my product. Now, it so happened, I was beyond not happy. And I'm sitting in a car in England, with him, and I proceed to get into, to rant a little bit about Ethics 101. It's the right thing to do. No notice, no nothing. And the guy from Wilson, who was in charge of expansion and new products, apparently had done things like that with several other companies and subsequently got fired. I was on Wilson's National Advisory Staff and National Speaker Bureau at the time, which was literally why I switched over to head about 13, 14 years ago. And just ethics. And at that time, John Embry, who's now with the USPTA, actually stepped to the plate. They cut me a $5,000 check. The loss was about 20 grand a year in sales, and it was the main, most creative product we had. It is the bungee net that's so popular. All right, now it happened that we made a lower price net, and we started private labeling it for other companies, and we did just fine, as it turns out. But things like that happen, even if you have an agreement. Now, they're in England, I'm in Texas. What do? You sue them in England? Is it, do you hire attorneys to do it? The answer is no. I don't want, first of all, I like sleeping at night. I don't like being in combative situations. But here's what happened. So Wilson still has the rights for the patent, all right? But take a look at this. Here's what's happened, all right? Dunlop, Babylon, Prince, Head, Yonex, who knows? It says portable tennis net. It's the same net, right? Another net. I don't know, I can't read what language that is even. Does anyone know? It's Korean? Okay, so company in Korea. Hart, who knows H-A-R-T, I never heard of that one. Another one I can't read here in the PowerPoint. And then you got Treepoint. They all are selling the same net. Did Wilson give them rights? No. But in a business publication from Sporting Goods for the SGMA, Sporting Goods Manufacturers, SGMA, Sporting Goods Manufacturers Association, in their newsletter, their it's a lawsuit posted that Wilson filed suit against Prince. Right? Now, it's not that there's a company in China which makes that net now. They knocked it off. I won't disclose the name. If you really want to know in private, you can ask me. And it is a problem. It's a problem for Wilson. Wilson is big enough that they have their internal legal department. But for a small company like mine, or for any of you individually, it's tough. How do you go after that many companies? You really can't. And it has hurt Wilson's business, for sure. And they are, because I contacted John Muir, and to his credit, I said, look, everyone, but us and probably Gamma is infringing on your patent. If you're not going to enforce your patent, please tell me, because I'll start selling that net. I'm not proud. I've calmed down 12 years later. I'm not angry anymore. I'd just like to, get a piece of the pie if everyone else is abusing, infringing on your patent rights. And they are going after them.
Joe, is it also...
Whoa,
Under what name would you sell it?
we're not.
No, you said if you wanted to get back into it, you would.
Well, Wilson said they are following up legally
So all those little...
to all those companies, one by one, and they are following up so that they can stop them from competing with Wilson's patented net system. And you can imagine how much time and money that's going to cost. Another question?
Yeah, is it the net only or is it the frame too?
It's not the net itself. It's a continuous bungee system. And I'll explain because I elected, this is a 2-year process. We just launched this product, and am I bragging about our new product? Yeah, a little bit. But I'm just showing you how you can also do workarounds. Because someone may have a patent, and you can work around it. So we came up with the idea of a built-in scorekeeper with these cool, we'll all have a sample at the trade show if you want to feel it and touch it. And we used a hinge system instead of a bungee, but then we used bungee for the middle piping, for the 5 middle pieces, because it's not continuous through the whole net, so there's no patent infringement. And I did hire an attorney for that. Plus we put clear plastic protection around the bungee so it wouldn't cut on the pieces and fray. And a lot of you are nodding, good idea. But that was a 2-year. I mean, in Dallas, Bert Cole runs the community tennis thing. She's just wonderful with the Dallas Tennis Association, the USTA district office there. And we must have had, talk about prototypes shipped over and paying freight from Taiwan back and forth. We must have had a total of 25 different versions shipped over from 3 different factories working on it. Crazy. And most of them were functional nets. They just weren't quite what we wanted. So the Dallas Tennis Association has, I donate a lot of things to them, mostly to clean out cleaning out the garage, but simultaneously doing some good with the product so they're not wasted. One more question?
I have a question. When Wilson goes after them, do they get them to stop, or do they get actually one back to the facility?
I can't answer. The question is, does Wilson just get them to stop, or do they get some kind of compensation for damages? And honestly, I can't. I'm sure that's part of the negotiations, but quite honestly, I doubt they're going to get any money back. But I think it really just depends. Okay? So it gives you an idea. This is a workaround of that net system. And this just shows we did badminton high. We built it in air zone. So telescopic poles, you just unscrew it, it goes up. So you've got a 1-inch stand, as you can see in the upper right-hand side. We have an adapter system for like 29 bucks or 39 bucks to make it into a 9-foot version. I think, at least if I was teaching, instead of the 18-foot net, I'd want to give private lessons on like a 9-foot version to one child, because it would be easy to set up and take down. So we do an adapter kit and sell a mini version. Whether that catches on or not, I don't know. But this is a potential mistake, because how many did we have to order? We had to order like 500 9-foot versions. You follow? And if you only sell 50 a year, you can do the math. I get 6 years worth of inventory, and we outgrew a warehouse, so we're paying a warehouse partner for storage. There goes your potential profits. So a lot of these things are gambles, and you use your best intuition. And the badminton height, obviously in the lower right, is for the school market, because we have to broaden our market past tennis to make it possibly work. Here's modification example. We all remember the company Hogue. They made, they held a patent on that floating arm where the ball pops in real easy, correct? Their patent expired. Patents last 20 years in the United States. And I was, a little nervous. Okay, do we, do that? Does it look bad? Gamma came out with their version of the floating arm after that patent ran out, and then we did too. I modified it. The way that I modified it were two ways on the left basket. Our floating arm is 7 millimeters instead of 4. So I'm saying this not only to show you the way I approach it, but if you have an idea that's a modification of somebody else's product, you can market it yourself. Just make it better. It's not that hard. So we went with because the floating arm was one of the things that would bend on the Hogue hoppers, if you all remember. And then also remember the nuts and bolts holding the handle on with rust, and then you end up with this, you couldn't tighten it anymore. We've all done that, it's wobbling. So we did the hand tightened knobs, which are on the left side. And then the other thing, on the right side, we did the thick on the stand out with the lid. You know in the Hogue you couldn't pick up, seems so silly now, right? You'd pick up balls, but if the lid was open, it was dragging on the ground. You all remember that? And it still exists. There's Hogue private labels for Wilson, as far as I know, still. The Wilson baskets are the same design. And so to pick up the balls without dragging the lid, you have to close it. So when your students have balls on their rackets, how do they put them in? You have to open it up, flip the lid, drop it in, close the lid, close the arms, and resume picking up balls. All we did is change the shape. It seems very basic, right? So you can see the lid is no longer than the height of the basket when you're picking up. So if you're going to modify an existing product, think about that. Same thing on teaching cards. Okay, what did we do? You know, that design card has been around for decades. All right, so this is a modification. What we did is, first of all, we put the lid on so it opens on the side instead of on the front. A little more convenient, and it sits flat. Second thing we did is we added the water bottle holder. Third thing, what I call a hopper hanger. And these were my ideas. But it's a modification that I'm talking about. There's a lot of ideas that you may have are not new. You may be modifying something, and that's okay. I mean, how many ideas are really, really new? All right? So that's what we did, and we added 2 trays and a weatherproof cover. And the ball divider concept. I think we were the first people to divide. Now everyone's got a ball divider. And everyone would have had that idea gradually as you have different colored balls.
Joe, what process did you go through once you start selling those modifications? Did you have to pay, remember?
What do you mean?
Well, are you selling the cage and the modifier as far as the hopper holder and the water bottle holder?
The way
As
we,
one whole package,
what we're doing is selling that as one package.
right?
We are going to be coming out in the next 6 months, maybe 4 months, with a bare bones. This is the deluxe club cart, which we launched, and we're going to come out with a less expensive. A lot of people don't need the weatherproof cover, the ball hopper, the ball holder. You know, me, call me clumsy or whatever. I'd be pushing the cart when I'm teaching, and the ball hopper's on top of the ball. It's full. The ball hopper's there, and it falls over, and the balls are everywhere, and you're rushing to your lesson. So for me, hanging it on the front was a natural idea. But we're going to be coming out with a simplified version. There's nobody I had to talk to. You know, once you set up your contacts and factories you're dealing with, usually you're paying agent fees overseas, which can be anywhere between 5 and 20%. We have double layer of agent fees because I do not go to Asia anymore. I just feel like I traveled enough in my life, and that was a conscious decision I made, was to pay somebody who already sourced products, somebody that I happen to know for a long, long time and is a dear friend. So that's our approach. Another modification, the Easy Score came up with that flip thing, hanging on the net. Now, is it unethical that we came out with our quick score on the right side and added the set score and a little elastic Velcro to go over the top? Some people would say, yeah, you copied them. Well, you know the rings, we call them quick feet donuts? How many companies are selling rings now? We make them for head pen. We do private labeling. Wilson's got them, Gamma's got them, I don't know who else has got them. That was my idea. That was one of the, I could tell you a handful of things that were exclusively my, idea. Or maybe a dozen things, I don't know. We have to sit and go through it. But each has their story. Some are modifications, some are selling for somebody else and giving them a royalty. It goes on and on.